Trump's Tuesday deadline to Iran is about to end. US President threatens to take out Iran in one night if there is no deal before this very deadline. Till now, Tehran has refused to budge. But it seems the Islamic Republic has a dangerous plan which battered militaries have often fallen back on. Well, as I mentioned, Iran is racing against a hard Tuesday deadline set by US President Donald Trump, with only hours left before strikes on its power plants and bridges, as Trump says. Yet Tehran is signaling it will not blink. But in response, the Iranian state has unveiled a sweeping mobilization plan by the regime. 14 million registered volunteers, children as young as 12 entering paramilitary ranks, and civilians forming a human chain around key infrastructure as a living shield against a possible US ground operation. So today in this edition of From the News Desk, we will talk about this new strategy by Iran and why it might change the course of this current conflict. Now, Iranian state television says as many as 14 million people have signed up to fight if foreign troops cross onto Iranian soil. Well, the figure, which has doubled in just 5 days from an earlier tally of 7 million, reflects an intense campaign by Iranian regime urging citizens to volunteer and a parallel push to bring retired soldiers back into the fold. Well, officials frame this mobilization as both deterrent and preparation, a signal to Washington that any land incursion would face not just regular forces but a mass popular defense network spread across a nation of roughly 90 million people. Also, at the same time, it reveals how the leadership has shifted into what some analysts call a survival mode, treating the war as an existential struggle following the killings of many senior figures and even former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in US-Israeli strikes. Tehran's messaging is explicitly defined. Trump has warned that if Iran does not fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz by the Tuesday cut-off, power plant day and bridge day will follow, with coordinated attacks on infrastructure designed to make Iranians live in hell. And Iran's answer has been to double down on resistance, not retreat, underscoring that it will respond in kind to any assault on its territory and energy lifelines. Perhaps the most controversial element of Iran's plan is the decision to lower the age bar for participation in the paramilitary besieged force to just 12. After this, human rights groups including Amnesty International have warned that some of these minors are already seen carrying firearms, calling their recruitment a potential war crime and a clear violation of Iran's obligation under the Convention on the Rights of the Child. On the other hand, Iranian officials argue they are merely responding to what they describe as a surge of teenage enthusiasm to join the war efforts. In fact, an official affiliated with the Revolutionary Guard Corps in Tehran said that under the new initiative, 12 and 13-year-olds can also now volunteer for patrols, checkpoints and move logistics, a move that places them close to the front-line danger even if they are not formally in combat units. On state television, General Hossein Yakhta, who is linked to the besieged militia, openly urged parents to take your kids' hands and go out on the streets and send their children to staff nighttime security posts so they can feel like a hero standing right at the heart of the battlefield. Remember, these very checkpoints have been repeatedly hit by Israeli and US airstrikes, meaning this push risks more casualty, that too of children. Now, alongside the voluntary army and the children recruits, Iran is turning to the different kind of defense, like mass human chains around critical power plants on the very day Trump has threatened to bomb them. Top Iranian officials have called on students, artists, and even athletes to join hands at energy facilities across the nation under the banner Iran's Youth Human Chain for a Bright Future, describing the move as both a protest and a physical barrier against what Tehran labels as planned US war crimes. In fact, Iran's Deputy Youth Minister Ali Reza Rahimi has urged Iranians to stand hand in hand to declare that hitting public infrastructure is a war crime, tying the human chain directly to international humanitarian law rather than purely nationalist bravado. Meanwhile, President Masoud Pezeshkian has also reinforced the call with a post on X. By casting ordinary citizens as both a message and shield, Pezeshkian is effectively presenting the human chain as the embodiment of this warning. If the US strikes power plants on the power plant day, it will be striking visibly at civilians and not just at the Iranian state. The strategy is high risk, concentrating unarmed people around likely target, but it also designed to test Trump's resolve and the global appetite for image of young Iranians, including children, standing between American weapons and the country's infrastructure as the clock runs down of his Tuesday deadline.